Evicting a tenant can seem like a complicated undertaking, but in this video, we'll quickly explain eviction laws in Utah and how to recover your property in 5 simple steps. First, what is an eviction? Eviction is the process of illegally removing a tenant. It's illegal for a landlord to change locks or physically remove a tenant themselves. So, if the renter refuses to leave after violating their lease, you must seek an eviction from the court. The process for simply terminating a lease differs from that of an eviction. Lease terminations require proper notice from the landlord or tenant, and state requirements can be found on our website. Legal reasons for eviction in Utah. A landlord only has grounds to evict a tenant for reasons allowable in the state. The first step in the eviction process is to give the lessee one of the following notices. Non-payment of rent. If the tenant is late on rent, you can serve a 3-day notice to pay or quit. This gives them 3 days to pay rent in full along with any penalties or vacate the property. Non-compliance. If the tenant commits a lease violation such as harboring an unauthorized pet or unpermitted subletting, a non-compliance notice gives them 3 days to either comply with the lease or vacate the property. Illegal activity. Landlords can choose to make certain violations like illegal activity incurable. If your tenant engages in illegal activity while living on the premises, you can serve them a 3-day notice to quit, which requires them to leave in 3 days with no option to remedy the violation. Rent grace period. In Utah, there is no rent grace period. Rent is due on the due date. An eviction notice can be served if the rent is only 1 day late. 5 steps to legally evicting a tenant in Utah. Serve the notice to quit. Choose the form you need and download it or fill it out on eForms.com. Post it on the tenant's door, and send it via certified mail with a return receipt requested via USPS. If the breach is curable, you must wait the specified number of days allowed by the state before taking further action. File eviction papers with the court. If the tenant hasn't fixed the issue and remains on the property, you can proceed to the local district court where the property is located. You'll need to file a complaint and a summons. In Utah, the court system has a self-help document producing site that you can use to create the documents you need. Serve the court documents. After the filing, the tenant needs to be made aware of the case filed against them. Since you cannot serve the court documents yourself, use the sheriff or a civil process server to serve the summons and complaint on the tenant. Retain proof of service for court. The tenant will then have a set amount of time to file an answer with the court, which details their side of the story. Attend the hearing. At the hearing, the judge will reach a ruling. If the tenant doesn't respond or attend, or if the judge rules in your favor, an order of restitution will be issued, which will order the tenant to vacate within 3 days. Removing the tenant. If the tenant remains on the premises after 3 days, the sheriff will now be able to remove the tenant and their possessions. Damages. Often the tenant's security deposit does not cover total losses. If damages are not awarded at the hearing, you may be able to recover past due rent and court fees through small claims court. Now you can get eviction proceedings started. Get eviction forms, court documents, and all other information you'll need at the link below for free.